Yes, people, welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the post-match fan show where you guys can come on and have your say. I believe the link to come on is going to be in the chat. It will be pinned at the top of the chat, and also will be in the community section for members, although you won't need to go to it because it's pinned to the top of the chat. Joining me today on the fan show is Johnny, age 32. How you doing?
I'm all right, a little bit traumatised after that, but we survived. We survived. It could have been a lot worse. And listen, after all, like I said at the beginning, Brian, it's not desperate we win, but we'd love to win.
Yeah.
It's not a must-win. Yeah.
It's not a must. I think it's not, for me, it's not a must-win result-wise, but I think for the confidence, for the psychological, to say we've gone away and won, I think that would have been a huge, more important than the result, in all honesty. But also joining us is the one and only Kof, my Aki. How are you, bro?
Yeah, what's your thoughts? Dejected from losing a game of football, but we ride again. We got a game on. We got a game on Sunday against Ipswich. We've got to bounce back very quickly. We've got to dust ourselves off, and we've got a very important game at the weekend. So onto it.
Exactly. I mean, listen, there are a few highs. There are some lows. Couple of the highs, I actually think, and we'll get people talking about this. For me, if I had to say two highs, would obviously be we spoke about him a lot. East Basuma, and I think Archie Gray played well. Bentancur as well. And you know what? We looked better going forward when we were down to 10 men than 11, weren't we?
Well, it was the subs because, we had three solid midfielders. This thing that, if you don't have Maddison on and you don't have Bergvall on, you've got no creativity is absolutely nonsense because, Bentancur collects the ball and delivers the ball so quickly, he can break those lines very easily. And we've seen Basuma's capable of scoring. Yeah. And Papasar's capable of scoring. But we looked a lot more solid. And that's the crying shame for me. We should have started with that creativity, that solidity in the middle of the park. I think that's where it all went wrong tonight.
Absolutely, I agree with Johnny. We talked about it a lot. A lack of width in that second half due to the substitutions we made. It was a game of two halves. We were width heavy in the first half, but nothing in the middle to create for them and to put them in behind. Second half, we had a load of good players in the middle, but we had no one to pass to get out. So that pressure was continuing with a very, very good performing Galatasaray team. They played very well today.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is called the post-match fan show for a reason. People have heard us talking for a long period now.
Yeah.
It is time to start bringing callers on. And I can see our very first caller is waiting. So let's say hello to Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, buddy. So what would you like to talk about? Let's see what you want to speak about, and then we'll ask you a few questions. But where would you like to begin, buddy?
Well, there's a lot of things to talk about in it.
Let's do it.
I don't know. I think I'll start with a hot take. I've seen online everyone saying Dragusin had probably the worst game of his career, but I don't know. I think with the defense we had kind of a makeshift defense. Dragusin Davies never the best partnership. I don't think he had such like an awful display as people say. I mean, he did give the ball away tons of times. He wasn't good under pressure, but I think he had a general great defensive display other than that. But I don't know, what do you guys think?
Well, Jimmy, first of all, is that obviously, I haven't been checking social media, I'm not on Twitter at the moment. Is that the main, like you said, the hot take at the moment? Because us Spurs fans love to pin the blame on a player. I mean, it's like a piñata, isn't it? It's like, right, Spurs have lost, which is the player we're going to pick to blame? And by the looks of it, you're saying it's Radu who's coming in for the most. Do you know what? I'll go first. I'll go first and I'll let you two go, and then we'll go back to Jimmy. Now, for me, we have such, like you said, Jimmy, we have such an unsettled defence that, I mean, a lot of it as well from that first half. Forster played it out from the back, wasn't working. We're getting stretched all over the place. I think one of the most important things in football, and we saw it like George Graham back in the day talk, and Ferguson, all these, the back four is the most important part, or the central defence to me is the most important partnership to get right and solidify and play week in, week out and be regular with each other. And we just chop and change. I mean, what do you think, Johnny?
Well, I just think we played with one of our regular back four. And we played with, our midfield. There was no protection for the middle part. And what I would congratulate Dragusin on is, the one thing I would congratulate Dragu on is the fact that he got a yellow card very early, and it didn't faze him. It didn't stop him making the challenges and making the tackles. And I think he was up against it. I don't think it would have mattered who you put in there tonight with the midfield that we started the game with. And as I said, the fact that he got an early yellow card meant that he obviously with that in mind of how he got sent off against Karabag, I thought he did well at the end of the day. I think everyone was up against it.
Absolutely.
You agree?
Yeah, I would agree with you. What were your thoughts on the half-time substitutions? Did we get it wrong? Did we make too many changes too early? What's your view on the half-time changes?
The half-time, I mean, I've heard you guys say it was a total mistake to take off Sonny and Johnson, but I don't know, I'm not sure, because I think Sonny was taken off for the same reason he was taken off versus Villa, because we're trying to keep him fit. Also, I think a theme that appeared through the whole match for me is Andrew's kind of managing this game with the Ipswich game in mind, trying to make sure like we are like full fit and we have full power on Sunday, that is. But I think it wasn't such a bad idea. I mean, Johnson played 80 minutes versus City. He played the whole match versus Villa, so I think it was a good idea to give him a rest for this match and make sure he's great versus Ipswich. But I think down the line as it went, and Langshay got the red card, then maybe the game started slipping away from us, and we had to really, really change our shape and our whole tactics.
Did you not think we looked better, though, funny enough, when Maddison and Bofa went off? And we actually had 10 men. We looked more solid. We looked like we could, actually potentially even get the draw.
Yeah, on that, I think we lost the game in the midfield, because in the first half,
100%.
Bergvall was just taken out of the game. He looked clueless. I think there were times when he could have released the ball early, he could have won the ball, and I think other times he was really nervous. I think the atmosphere really got into him, so he was taken out of the game. I expected Maddison to step up a bit more. Well, obviously he didn't, and I think we just lost the game in the midfield, because Bissouma, as decent as he was, whenever he got the ball, I just saw Galatasaray just pouncing and winning that ball back and ensuring we have no time to breathe.
Jimmy, talking about that, and you're right. Listen, I think
good analysis.
It's been brilliant from Jimmy. I have to say, like, obviously it looked a lot, and you're right. Sometimes we were over-hitting the ball. Obviously, we mentioned the pitch. I'm not blaming the pitch for the defeat or anything. Obviously, it did look cut up, but Galatasaray just looked hungry in that first half, didn't they? Every first ball they were getting, every second ball they were fighting for. They just were hot on us, pressing, and we just couldn't deal with the pressure, could we?
Do you know what, Brian? For those first 10 minutes, I was watching, I'm here watching from home, and I could feel the tension from the atmosphere in that stadium. They were, whenever we had the ball for 2 seconds, they were like blowing whistles and getting in to our nerves. And I think we really, really, really felt that. I mean, I think in the second half, we did have that problem. I think we had more stability, especially with Big Dom there and Kulu. But I think in the first half, we're just, I don't know, we're at the mercies of those fans, I think.
Yeah. So, Jimmy, when you saw the line, or before, let's go back, before the lineup came out, were you someone that thought right, I want to see us go strong because of the Galatasaray Stadium, the fans, the atmosphere. Getting an away win in such a hostile place could be a huge confidence booster? Or did you want to see a team like we saw? Where were you before the game was kicked off? Where were you looking?
Okay. Do you know, this was kind of a whatever game, whatever happens, if we go to Istanbul, if we lose, if we win, sure, whatever. I think the main focus for me was a Sunday game, try to get as high as possible in the PL. But I think if I'm looking at it from Ange's view, I think it was kind of tough for him because I think with the lineup he picked, he was like giving the youngsters a chance and seeing what they bring to the table and seeing what, whether, they can also step up in other competitions as well. And, well, he may have learned what he learned. But it was really tough because down the line, especially when we were 3-1 down, I was like, I really don't want us, to get thrashed, like 7-1 or something. I don't think anyone
don't want
wanted
another
that.
Bayern Munich.
No.
Yeah. I don't think anyone wanted that. And so Ange changed his mind and was like, you know what, bring on Solanke, bring on Kulu, bring on Sa, let's not get embarrassed in Istanbul.
Can I ask him a question?
Of course you can.
I just want to ask you, this is fine because we're in the early stages, but as things progress, because you said, Ange has got his eye more on the league. As we progress into the knockout stages, what would you say was more important? Eye on the league or getting through each round as we get into the knockout stages of the Cup? Would you be accepted? Would you accept Ange playing a weaker team in the Europa League and forsake that to get a good result in the league, even if it meant that we had no chance of actually even winning it, but it was all about just top four?
Look, I know I'm younger than y'all, but I think we all just want silverware as soon as possible. So
Johnny's
Right.
only
Correct.
15.
Correct
He's
answer.
only 15.
Well, no, this is the
Correct.
this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm going to let Jimmy finish, but we are damned. The way this Spurs fan is set, we're damned if Ange is damned if we do, damned if we don't. The three of us here want silverware more than challenging for top four. Yeah. There are fans that do want top four more than a trophy.
Yeah.
So either way, he's going to upset people. But Jimmy, carry on with what you're about to say.
Yeah, you're never going to satisfy everyone. And I think every match says that. I mean, we won 4-1 versus Villa, and people are like, no, we should have scored more. We didn't take our chances. Like, you can never satisfy everyone. But honestly, I think this season, if we go out with the Europa League and we win it, or the Carabao, or just any silverware, I think I'd take that over top four. But I'm not saying we get relegated or something. But I think silverware is really, really key.
Well, Jimmy, you know what? It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed speaking to you. I hope to see you on the channel again. Is this your first time calling in?
Yeah, but not my last.
Definitely, mate. You've been incredible.
Jimmy.
Well done.
Contributions.
Everyone,
Right.
really good chatting with you, Jimmy. Take care, buddy.
Cheers,
All
buddy.
right.
See you later on, my man.
Bye-bye.
How good was Jimmy?
It's
Very
brilliant.
good.
Jimmy was absolutely incredible. Right, let's keep this rolling. So we have, I believe it's George that we got coming on next. So let's bring on George. George, how you doing?
Georgie.
Oh,
No,
There we go.
no.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
there we go.
good.
Yeah, how you doing, George?
Yeah, all good. First time calling in, but I think I've met most of you, if not all of you.
I
Definitely.
think have we met outside the stadium before? You're the guy that's talking
My cousin's the
basketball.
lanky one.
Absolutely, I thought so.
I actually thought you said his cousin Solanke. And I was like, okay, cool. But George,
No,
where do you
no.
want to go, mate? What do you want to what do you want to talk about? What's your hot takes?
It's a bit of a difficult one. My biggest gripe is everyone saying Ange out, and I know that's really controversial. But he's had one season.
Yeah.
He's had one season. Yeah. I don't see how anyone can say that they should be Ange out after what we've seen. We've just started getting a bigger squad and just started getting to test out and have the ability to test out youngsters like tonight. And we went into the game tonight saying we're not going in to win. Yeah. So I don't see how everyone after that has come out and said how bad it's been. I know the performance wasn't great, but there's so many lessons that we can learn to take out of that. One thing I do want to briefly touch on, sorry guys.
Yeah, go
One
on,
thing
George.
I briefly touch on was the substitutions of Sonny and Brennan. I know you guys are scratching your heads about that. I have a very opinionated opinion on it.
Let's go.
I think he's specifically done it just to tighten up the midfield and to have some control and try and control the game. I don't think he's done it because there was no outlet. I think it was more the fact that even if they'd stayed on, there would still be no outlet because we wouldn't have the ball in the first place. That's what I think.
I think George is. I have to say, I think George has absolutely goddamn nailed it.
Could you say that he went too far with the control though? Because we went from having nothing in the middle to nothing on the wing. So there's got to be some sort of a balance. You don't have to take off all your forwards to get some control in the game. Okay. But again, you don't need to have all your midfielders on to be able to control a game. I think having 4 central midfielders on at one point, I think is a bit overkill, and that's what we had at one point when we had Basuma, Bentancur, Maddison, Kulusevski, Rice, and Burt. Actually, we had 5 central midfielders on.
Yeah, I have to say,
5 to control a game of football.
But what I will say, James, before you, just to I am in George's camp here. I'm jumping in. I'm on Team George right now because I actually think, right now, like I said, Son's minutes need to be monitored. We need him for bigger or the games. Johnson has been playing non-stop, and we were all saying here, and we were asking the audience what needs to be sorted, the midfield or the defence, and a large majority of them in the chat and us here said that midfield needs to be stabilised. Yes, we need an outlet, and maybe Solanke should have come on with that to be the hold-up play.
5 midfielders though.
Mate,
but George, can I just say, that I hear exactly where you're going with this, but the reality of the situation was when we brought those players on, we were even worse.
We were.
They cut through us. They cut through us. They were cutting through us like a knife through butter.
I don't even think it was butter. They were cutting through us like olive oil. That's how easy it was. It was olive oil.
It was actually worse. I mean, they nearly scored 3 goals in the opening 4 minutes. And, you know, whilst I understand exactly where you're going with that, theoretically that should have been the case. But the reality was somewhat different. I hear what you're saying, and I understand, you know, saving Sonny's legs, you know, Johnson playing all the minutes. But
I understand that as well. Sorry to cut over.
George.
This being the first time I've come on, I'm not used to this lag. It's quite laggy on my end. Sorry about that. If I do speak over any of you, I don't mean
That's all right, don't worry.
Again, I fully understand and hear what you say. The one thing I would say in response to that is hindsight's a wonderful thing. How did Ange know that that's how it was going to play out? I think Ange played the only option he had given the shit position we were in. Sorry for the language.
We knew. We knew, George.
We knew.
George, what I will say with this, and I think we're all excited by these crop of youngsters coming through. I think we all know that some people think they're not ready now. Some people think they might need loan moves. Some people think the way to give them minutes is via the Europa League, which, again, I can understand. But is chucking the youngsters and saying, right, go do it, an environment like this. It's like, I remember, I'll go back for an example, and this is a while ago. Hugo Lloris's debut for Spurs by, I can't remember who was manager, but AVB, was at the Emirates and saying, there you go, make your first Tottenham Hotspur debut away at the biggest enemy.
The difference is, Brian, that was the captain of France.
Well, he wasn't at the time. He wasn't.
No, he was the captain of France.
But either what I'm getting at is there's the right time to play these youngsters and say, right, let's see what you got. I don't think Galatasaray away was the right. I mean, George, if you were Ange right now going into that game, would you have been like, do you know what, it's Galatasaray, go and learn something? Or do you think this game would have been like, this, you're going to come off the bench, maybe, because this is a daunting place?
This is where I would argue my opinion is more controversial than anything else I've said so far. On the point that, I would have done. And I'll tell you why. Okay. Because the injuries that we've got, the fact that ultimately it didn't matter if we lost. And
I'd agree.
The atmosphere for where they were, like, to get experience, surely that's the atmosphere you want to throw them in, to give them experience. If we realistically want to be playing in the Champions League and we want to be winning the Champions League, when's the best time to go and put all these on? Against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup third round, if we were to play them, for example, or against Galatasaray in a dead rubber match we don't actually care about.
I wouldn't call it a dead rubber match.
I wouldn't call it.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't call it a dead rubber match.
No, listen, I
Yeah,
get
no.
listen,
we can still not qualify.
yeah,
there is a chance.
listen, I understand when people say this is a dead rubber, which it totally is, but I understand when you've won
wasn't.
I
3
didn't mean
games.
dead rubber. I just meant we don't
No,
have
I know
to
what
have
you mean,
to.
George. When you've won 3 games on the spin, it's not like, right, we need this win. Yes, it would have been help and put us right at the top. But I've been saying, I said before, that this cup means more to me than the league. The other cups mean more to me than the
Me
league.
as well.
Who stood out for you? Go on, George. Sorry, George, you carry on, buddy.
Do you think, though, George?
Let him carry on, let him carry
all right, go on. I was just going to say, George, just to ask you, do you think that helped Bergvall, the experience tonight, or do you think it demoralised them a bit?
And that's the difficult part. Ultimately, you're never gonna throw him in with any guarantee. That's where hindsight's going to be a wonderful thing. And yeah, maybe we could have seen throwing him in against Galatasaray would have been good, but we're Spurs, yeah. We could have thrown him in against Leicester and he would have probably had an even worse game because he would have thought he played well and didn't get anything out of it. Well, at least this, they can see, okay, well, we haven't got out of it. We fought well, but where did we go wrong? What can we work on? Like, it's not like it's the league. It's not like it's a knockout in a cup. But I think us as Spurs fans, and this is very generalised, but we're very negative. And I think that's
Are you positive about
understandable. No.
Yeah.
That's
that? You like that one?
I like it.
I think it's understandable with all the pain. I'm only 25, so I'm lucky to have not gone through all the pain you guys have gone through being older than me.
I can't believe he keeps saying that we're older than him. Where did he get that from?
Sorry, go on, George. Sorry, there's the sound here is going a bit wonky. Can you hear me, George?
Yeah. I can still hear all three of you, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's no worries. Carry on, George, with what you were saying.
So I never am one to slate the players or the manager. I wholeheartedly think the players are paid a lot for what they do. They're the ones on the pitch. Yes, the manager's paid a lot, but the players have to show it. Manager has to get it right as well, and it's not always going to go swimmingly. Look what happened to City, but are they turning around and worried? They were knocked out of a cup. I'm not comparing us to City or Pep to Ange or anyone like that before people in comments start getting all antsy with typing out saying that I'm saying we're as good as City. We're not, but we can beat them. We can beat anyone on our day, and we just need to keep going. We need to stop being so negative. And straight after saying that, I'm going to say Forster out.
Listen, Joe, we've been talking about this, but this will be the last thing we talk about, George. We've got quite a few people to get through. Fraser Forster, now listen, I'm not saying he had a great game. I'm not saying he's a great goalkeeper. His distribution was sloppy, poor. Could have saved a couple of those goals, but it could have been a lot worse.
Happy clapper.
No. Don't start that crap. I'm not saying I never want to see Forster start again. But again, like Jimmy was saying about Dragusin, yes, Forster was at fault for goals, but it could have been worse without the saves he made. I don't want to see him play. As soon as I see him starting, all right, he did well against AZ Alkmaar at home, but the other 2 games he's played, Coventry we know was an absolute shit show, let's be serious, and today wasn't much better. It could have been worse, but yeah, I agree. But George, you've probably heard me say on the show before when you've watched We Are Tottenham TV, Tottenham have had this issue for a very, very long time. When we had Hugo Lloris, not one goalkeeper that was at the club was there to say, right, I'm coming for your jersey. I'm not just here if you're injured or suspended. I'm coming for that number 1 spot. And we're doing. I know Vicario's only in his 2nd year, but we've got him. We've got Brandon Austin, who's obviously not deemed good enough, but given a 5-year contract. Come January, do you reckon signing a goalkeeper is a necessity?
Yeah. I think Forster was good for last season whilst we were like in our first season under Ange. But I think for me, Ange should have seen it and gone, right, that's somewhere we need to improve. Yes, it wasn't the main
100%.
place we needed to improve because we brought Vicario in. But it was somewhere that he should have, in my opinion, planned for this season to be prepared for. And I think if we don't sign a replacement in January, that's a big fuck up on
Or
our
give
part.
one of the kids a go. We got 4 goalkeepers. We got 4 goalkeepers.
Gunter, Keeley, we got the other boy coming through.
Give them a chance.
We shall see. But George, listen, great having you on.
Can I
for
just
first-
end on one last thing? Sorry.
Yes, you can.
I just
buddy.
want
Yes, you can.
I want to ask Brian, have you heard what Hugo Lloris has come out and said either today or yesterday about Antonio
Oh,
Conte?
yes, we have.
Trust me.
About the watch. About
Trust
the
me,
watch.
I want to
George-
hear your opinion on that.
Oh,
You
Jesus.
don't want to hear his opinion on
Maybe
that
not
one.
tonight. Yeah, maybe
No,
not
no,
tonight.
no. Listen.
He's a finalist.
Are you going to the game on Sunday?
I'm not. I've just moved house.
Damn
I ain't got
it.
any money.
George, let's just say, obviously it got shared around WhatsApp groups and whatever. Nothing surprises me. Hugo Lloris has come out and said this. I just hope more players come out and speak the truth. The fact that listen, does it make a difference if we would have won the final or not? No, but the fact that it's just like finalists, blah blah. It's just typical of this man. And I've had 17 years now of being against this owner. I will continue to be so, and nothing I hear from that man. I mean, obviously we had the whole Gascoigne fiasco, which has been cleared up. Players are coming out and speaking like this, and hopefully people will start to realise that this performance today will be deemed acceptable by the ownership.
Yeah.
Because we're still in the tournament.
Yeah.
You look at the leaders, Osimhen, Icardi, they have players there that are leaders that have won things.
Icardi,
We don't, and as long as we scrape through cups and get into Europe, we're fine. We'll get. We might get a watch saying losers tonight with the players' names, but at least we tried in Galatasaray.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm trying to be. I've said before, I'm not going to speak Levy unless I need to go for him when things like this. But today is Spurs Galatasaray. It is frustrating. It is typical of that man. But George, pleasure speaking to you, buddy.
Thanks,
George.
We will
Great to
speak.
see you again,
we will
And as
speak to you
always,
soon.
Levy out.
There you go. You've done it, not me. Well done. Well done. It's not me saying it. It's not me saying it. Right, next guest, and it's a very dear friend of mine. Someone who lives in the same continent as me. Let's bring on Mr. Eugene. How are we doing, Eugene, brother?
Hey boys, what's going on? I miss you guys, so I had to come on for a minute.
I stream every day at 2, Eugene. You can watch me at whatever it is in the clock in the morning.
Eugene,
Hey,
it's
Ben.
great to see you, buddy.
Ben, after you called me out publicly for bingo on Sava's channel, you and I were not friends anymore. Although I did beat you, so it's embarrassing.
It's about time you beat me, Eugene. I am terrible at bingo.
At least there is Spurs bingo. But Eugene, talk to us about that game, mate.
I'm sorry, I'm lagging a bit, but I'm pretty annoyed, but I'm not overreacting. Everybody's losing their minds. After every game we win, Ange is a genius. After every game we lose, Ange is clueless and sack him. I mean, I expected a tough game given our injuries and given the atmosphere in Turkey. For them, you could tell this was an important game. They were going all in. They have very good players as well. But I feel like Ange was thinking about the league, given all the injuries. He wanted to rest certain players.
Yep.
So given, the referee, the red card, and the players on the pitch, it's annoying that we lost. I'm not happy about it because for me, I know we talked about it many times. I'd rather us win a cup and finish 13th or 14th. I don't care about the top 4. But given the thin squad and all the injuries, Ange had to manage it. So I feel like with a full squad, we beat them pretty convincingly. So it's annoying that we lost, but it's not the end of the world for me.
Well, you look at this right now, and if we got Romero out for the Ipswich game as well, because apparently it's 7 to 10 days,
He's out.
what changes can he really make to that? Well, the central defence is going to have to be Davies and Dragusin.
Just Destiny coming in, that's it. It's
Destiny
only
left back,
coming
maybe
in.
Spence go right back. I mean, let's first of all, Eugene, that's what I was just about to say. Has anyone heard anything about Porro? Because obviously they said in the commentary right near the end he was holding his hamstring. Let's just hope and pray
I was wondering the same thing. And
because,
all
yeah.
the people who said that they wanted to see Dragushin start over Romero, you can tell why that cannot be the case. He is very limited when it comes to passing, to playing under pressure. If we play the way Ange wants us to play, there is no way that Dragushin can start for us consistently.
Can I just
You
say
can tell
though?
a huge
Go on.
difference between him and Romero.
Why did he sign him?
That's
the question then.
No, I was going to say I think it's a little unfair, and I'll tell you why. First of all, he's hardly got any minutes.
I would agree.
Second of all, to come into a game like this, had he been playing with the normal midfield, that defence needed protection tonight, and the midfield setup with Bergvall and Maddison, they offered no double pivot there at all. So, had we played with a double pivot like we played with against Man City and against Villa, with whether it be Bentancur and Papassar with a Kulu, but instead of swapping Kulu out with a Maddison, then you would have had more protection. And the other thing is you say he didn't play under pressure, but playing in a stadium like that and being on an early yellow card, I thought he did well being on that yellow card to last the 90 minutes with a trigger-happy referee. I hear what you're saying. He's not a finished article, but, it's about development, right? He's still a very young
22,
defender,
right?
22 years of age. A defender, a centre-back, doesn't come to full maturity, I don't believe, until you're out 26, 27. So it's too early. I hear exactly what you're saying. There was definitely mistakes. There is mistakes in his game, but he has a lot of strengths. And I think if you'd have put him next to a Mickey van der Ven or a Romero, you would have seen maybe a different player. But I understand what you're saying.
Eugene, we're going to flip this because you know what? We've been talking with the guests that have come on about is the defence the problem, is the midfield problem. I actually want to flip this and talk about the players that did stand out. And I wanted to first of all go to you, Eugene, and I want to discuss the how, for me, it was an immense performance from Yves Bissouma. And I'm going to use the word immense. I can't wait to do the player ratings with Simeon tomorrow because I think that performance he's just put in, he gave blood, sweat and tears for that 90 minutes, Eugene. What was your thoughts on other players that you're impressed with?
No, Bissouma was great. And it's a tricky one because, after a few games, I'm done with him. I want him out. And then he has some brilliant games. The issue with him is he is not consistent, right? And that's the issue with most of the players, right? That's the difference between good players and great players. But the consistency, all of them have enough skill and have enough about them where they can be great. It's just we need Bissouma and others, Maddison, Bentancur, to be consistent every single game. So tonight he was definitely great, but I want to see that from him for 5-6 games straight.
Okay, who else? Was there anyone else that actually stood out for you, Eugene?
I mean, the Archie Gray pass to Johnson for that first goal was great. That was an amazing pass. Lancashire looked pretty good, as Johnny was saying before, until that red card. Otherwise, I mean, nobody else really stood out for me. Sonny, to me, wasn't great. I don't know. It was just an average performance from everybody else. But as you said, Bissouma was great.
Bentancur when he came on? Even Glenn Hoddle mentioned Bentancur, which is a miracle.
Yeah. If he's positive about someone, he must have been good.
Ben, what have you got? What do you want to bring to this right now?
What's your view on the substitutions at half-time, Eugene? Going from no one in midfield to having too many people in midfield. Was it too much too early, or is it just looking for injuries? I know he's got a lot of injuries, and you've got to be careful about that.
I think that's what it is. I think Ange was managing
too many at once. Was that a bit too? Leaving players like Bergvall on, who I think Bergvall was mostly a passenger in that game. Maybe taking off some of the younger boys for the men in that second half rather than bringing off all of our firepower.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the subs obviously it didn't work. The midfield was crowded, as you said, but again, I just feel like Ange didn't have a lot of options there. He just wanted to see out the game, not get players hurt. Because honestly, I mean, who else could he have put in on the left?
This is the
I'm
problem
just
we
looking
have.
at who was available, and
Yeah.
we just didn't have that many attacking options.
A mistake not putting Spence into the squad. I know
Absolutely.
tonight he wasn't.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but-
Hashtag free
Yeah.
Spence.
Listen, do
Free
you know what?
Spence.
That's going to cost us.
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna when I hear that now, and I have to say, when I hear now, oh, he should have had Jed Spence. It's bloody obvious he should have done. But every single
to add,
well, no,
not
not
to
to add.
add.
We're saying obviously having the extra goalkeepers, blah blah blah. He should have had Spence in. But every single game, we're going, oh, he should have had Spence. Just having Jed Spence there would not have made this game.
No, but he could have played Spence
No,
at
you're
right
right.
wing instead of someone else.
Yeah, but he hasn't played him at right back. He's played him at left back.
No, I know.
So it's not-
but Archie Gray. Listen, Archie Gray did very well, but let's be honest, he's not even a right back, and he's playing him at left back. You know, ultimately he's a 6. He played very well. He's played at centre back. He's played at 6.
Yeah.
Great for his development, but to play him against Galatasaray, against Victor Osimhen, Mertens and Icardi, you know, was a real baptism of fire. And, you know, I think he would have learned something from that game tonight. But I'm not sure Bergvall did. I think that could have sent Bergvall backwards in his confidence.
He's almost been hung out to dry, hasn't he? And a lot of like when there's the red card the other day, immediately hooking him off rather than another player. It's sort of he's a young kid, so he's going to learn. But
Correct.
are we playing him too much instead? Like today. He was not up. It was a deer in the headlights today.
Out of his depth in that first
He was
half.
a deer in the headlights, and when you're getting so dominated by a really tough midfield, maybe it's time to cut your losses and put a more experienced player on in his place.
Well, do you know what, Eugene, I'll ask you this final question because we're going to start going through because we do have a few callers. As I said at the end of the instant match reaction or the fan show, Jed Spence has just been right. Yes, Ange is going to take some responsibility. He's a manager. He's got to take accountability. But these players need to step up and take some responsibility as well. It's not... Listen, Ange may have got this wrong, but these players now have to play football. These players are professionals that are paid obscene amount of money, are athletes that want to play in these big games. They get in these big games, and these players need to... Away, you look at it, Brighton collapsed in the second half.
I was there.
Yes, Ange made... There were some errors, but those players need to step up and at 2-0 up, take control of the game. Crystal Palace, embarrassing, especially with Solanke having to come back to do everything, even though he's been brought to score the goals. And now this performance.
This was very, very much, though. The only thing I would disagree with you on, I would say this is very, very much a B- team. You know, when you look at it in contrast between, you know, Palace and Brighton, where we went full for it, full strength team, no excuses. You have to look within yourself. But here, you know, kids playing, makeshift defence, makeshift midfield against three top strikers with Yilmaz. And the goal that was scored, the first goal was a tremendous strike.
Yep.
They had a lot of talent in that team. You know, they had a lot of talent in that team.
Correct. But
And they're unbeaten.
Eugene, what's your thoughts on this when it comes to the responsibility? I mean, I know a lot of people will be again calling for the match. Listen, I'm not saying people. I'm very much Ange in. Am I right? Maybe. Maybe not, but the reason behind me wanting to be Ange in is because I'm sick and tired of changing managers every 2 years and expecting the same thing. But also the players have to take... These are professionals and we've seen managers come and go and these players don't step up. Where are you right now on where we are as a club, not as a club right now, after this performance? Are you more... Ange has got to be more accountable for this? Are you more the players need to stand up and deliver because they keep choking away from home? Or do you reckon it's a bit of both?
I mean, as I've said many times, I mentioned I'll reevaluate the situation at the end of the year, right? I want to give any manager 2 years, and then we'll see where we are. We should win a cup this year. We should still win Europa. That's my goal. and after the end of the second year, after this year, I'll see how he does. I feel like we're improving, even though the results don't show it. If you look at all the metrics, we're improving defensively. Our offense looks good.
Yep.
We just need to avoid injuries and to improve
If
our form
I,
away from home.
If I had one wish right now and it was granted, it would be that we play every single game at home. then we'll be like every game. Forget away games. We just play everything at home. Eugene, brother, it is always a pleasure to speak with you. I'll be in touch
Gentlemen,
with you very
appreciate
soon.
it. Good
Thanks
to see you
very
guys.
much. Take
Brother,
care.
I'll speak to you
Cheers,
very soon, Eugene.
I'm going to beat you at bingo later, mate.
But yes, we are going to keep going through them as the night goes on. Oh, look who's coming on next. I can see him.
Oh, boy.
Let's bring on Matty K.
It's Donut.
Matty, how are you, my man, my little bro? How are you? Are you muted?
Hello.
There you go, Matty.
Donut.
Welcome back to the channel. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. It's great to meet you.
It's great to find you. Obviously, WhatsApp and bingo and everything. It's all good to see you. It's the first time, and obviously, I'll see you Sunday. What's your thoughts on what we've just seen today, Matt?
Terrible performance. Over exaggeration from lots of the fans, though. The scoreline flattered us.
Never.
I can't believe that. I can't believe what you're saying. Never.
The scoreline flattered us, definitely.
Yep.
I mean, so I'll read you some stats. They had 28 shots. We had 5. They had 8 corners. We had 0. We conceded 10 fouls, 6 yellows, 1 red. We got dispossessed 17 times in our own half, and they had 17 chances they had from our mistakes.
Was that what it was, Matty? 17 chances from our mistakes?
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
many? I mean, last time I heard it was 27 attempts on goal.
Yeah.
Did it end on 27 or was it more?
28.
29, I think.
29.
29.
So out of 29, 17 were forced errors by ourselves.
Yeah. That first half and that like 20, 30 minutes after the second half started, that was abysmal. We couldn't keep the ball for like 10 seconds. We just kept going out from the back and conceding and losing the ball every single time. There was no passion in that team. The only players I feel that stood out, Basuma throughout the game, he showed leadership today, I think.
Yep.
Bentancur, when he came on, he was class. He made some great
100%.
tackles.
Yeah.
And then Kulusevski and Solanke were also pretty good. But it was nowhere near the performance we need. Something I definitely want to mention is, you said it before about Spence. We should have either bought a left back like Patrick Dorgu or someone similar to that in the summer. Because
Hincape.
It's never coming.
Yeah. Because we need seriously a left back. Like, we can't be playing a 18-year-old who should be a CDM as a left back. It's mental. And I don't know why we didn't put Spence in the squad. That's absolutely crazy. Another thing, I was thinking before, because I'm looking at the Chelsea score right now. I don't know what score it is now.
3-0 last
Still
time I
6-0.
looked.
6-0.
6.
6-0.
Yeah, half time only.
Now I know
was
why
thinking-
Sammy. Now I know why Sammy in the back end's quiet and smiling
6-0
a lot.
at half time. Who that
Okay. 6-0. Go
some team.
on. Go on, Matty. Carry on, buddy. Sorry.
I was thinking, when did Tottenham last beat a team by more than 4 goals? So I think in the last 3-4 seasons, 4-0 Villa, 2-0 United.
4-0 Villa last year, 4-1, but that's 3 goals.
Yeah, but I mean, like a thumping like this is what he's saying. And you got to remember, Chelsea, where we've spoken about this and we'll speak about it now, they have gone on a major spending splurge, and we know the mess they're in or whatever. They've got such a strong squad that Cole Palmer is like, listen, just don't play in this Conference League until the knockout stages.
He's injured.
No, he's injured now, but they haven't put him in the squad. He's not in the Conference League squad. They've gone best player.
Yeah,
you're not
take
even
him out
you're not even
because he
touching
needs a
it.
rest. But they have got 57 players.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm getting at, Johnny. When it comes to, like Matty's saying, they have a huge squad. Yes, we bitch and moan, and Chelsea have done things the wrong way, and whatever way you want to look at it, they can do this. They can do this. But also, Matty, let's talk. You obviously mentioned Bissouma, Archie Gray. What are the? I mean, talk to me about Fraser Forster. I mean, I want to talk to a few bit about Fraser Forster because, like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he had the greatest game, which he definitely didn't. But we're in this position where we're not going to play Vicario in every single game. I wish we did in this one. What do you reckon? I mean, does Fraser Forster, after that performance, do you want to see him in a Spurs shirt again? Do you think he'll play in a Spurs shirt again?
Okay, so obviously I was surprised when I see Forster every few weeks or every week at the moment in the lineup. We just gave Brandon Austin a 5-year contract. Why aren't we playing him? He's not good enough.
Correct.
We should have. Whiteman's not good enough. Forster's nowhere near good enough. Austin's not good enough. Vicario, he's not one of my favourite players, but he's a great shot stopper, but he has loads of weaknesses. We need to buy a goalkeeper to challenge Vicario, I think, in January. I think we should have bought one in summer. I don't think I want to see Forster again. If we're going to play a backup, I want to see Austin, or I want to see Gunter or someone from the youth, because Gunter last season in the under-21.
Yeah, Gunter and Keeley. Listen, Gunter and Keeley are two outstanding young talents, but I 100% agree with you on everything you said. Left back should have been done. Backup goalkeeper should have been done.
Or just play Reguilon. Reguilon was really good at Brentford last year.
Yeah, but he's not even in the Europa League squad.
He's not.
But listen,
if he's not in the squad, sell him and buy a left back.
I don't want to see the tree in goal ever again. Okay, why take the risk? I'm still having nightmares about the Fulham away in the Cup last year. Every time he went down for one of those penalties, by the time the Fulham players were in the halfway line celebrating, he was still trying to get up off the floor. No, he's past it for this club.
Just so, Matty as well, you know all the fixtures by heart and everything. The next Europa League game we have is Roma at home, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is after the international break, obviously.
Very difficult game.
That's a very difficult game. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on that game. We need to get back to winning ways. Let's move a little bit away from this game right now. With Ipswich coming up now, let's hope we can sign off with an international break with a win on Sunday. Christmas coming up, or the Christmas schedule coming up, non-stop football. And listen, this happens for all teams. I'm not just saying Tottenham are singled out here. With the injuries we're getting and the rate of games coming, obviously we've got that Carabao Cup game, which is really important. Obviously, one more. We're in the quarterfinals. Do you reckon, with this selection as well, he may have one eye on Christmas and everything is coming around the corner with Ange? I've got to start thinking about managing this team to get me through to January.
All right. So first of all, I'll talk about Ipswich.
Yep.
Ipswich is a must-win game. We need to win it. It's a big chance to go into the international break. I think we can get in top 4 if we win it. Am I right?
Yeah.
I think maybe.
If results go away, there's a lot of fixtures, Matt, where that
we could go third, I believe.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
So top 4. Let's say, go on, Matt.
If we don't win that, it's not good enough, and there needs to be a change. Then going into the next few matches after the international break, the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, we need to go full out, I think. I'm thinking play our first team every Carabao Cup game. If that means playing our B team or a few of not the starters in Premier League, I'll do that any day.
Yeah.
I think go full out Carabao Cup. I think for the rest of the Europa League games, let's see how they go for the next 2, I think. I think playing the same team, similar to how we did today, but with a few changes. I think when we get through in the Europa League, we need to start playing our first team, and it's going to be hard because we don't have enough players. Like I'm saying, we need to play our first team every cup, but it's not going to be able to happen. We need to make some big transfers in January, or it's a must.
A reflex. Sorry, that was a reflex. You said big transfers in January, and I was like, yeah, okay. God, you know what?
Is this Tottenham Hotspur?
Listen.
Apparently not according to some people.
Well, no. Listen, in January,
checking I had the right club.
January, we'll probably get a couple of loans or whatever it may be.
Loan with an option.
Yes.
We shall see. But Matty, listen, I'm going to let you go because we've got to get through some callers. But it's always a pleasure to see you on the channel. And
good points, Matty.
Big up, Donut.
We'll try and sort out everyone meeting up before the Ipswich game or after. So hope to see you on Sunday, buddy.
But one more thing.
Go on. See, people need to do people need to do it for me.
And as always, Levy out.
Cheers, Matty.
Well
Cheers,
said,
Donut.
Matty. I'm on my best behaviour. My hands are behind
You're
my
like
back.
Imperium.
Yeah, I'm standing with my hands behind my back. Like, yeah. Matt,
Da,
right.
da, da,
How
da,
many
da.
people we got left, Sammy?
1, 2. Well, if we can get through them all, 4.
Okay, we.
I already warned them, like we might not be able to get.
Okay, cool. Well, the next person we got, and I don't know if he's been on the channel before. We got a few people, and obviously Ben's got a
He's
tray to
giving
get
us
home.
2 fingers. How dare you?
Okay, Rinketic, let's get you on, buddy. How we doing?
You've never seen Indiana Jones, and you're giving us 2 fingers. How dare you?
But Rinketic, brother, talk to us.
I'm happy I didn't have.
He's on mute.
the whole thing.
No, it's not.
Quiet.
Rinketic, you're very quiet. Turn your volume
I
up.
can barely hear anyway.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better now. So you were saying?
I am happy I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh, thank God. I thought you was about to say I didn't watch any of it.
What did you watch? The last 10 minutes?
It's Rinketic, so of course he's
45.
not watched it.
From where did he watch?
No, the last 45 minutes. So like it was a bit better. But I'm actually kind of upset about it because like the thing is like the features coming ain't that easy in the Europa League anyway, and I wanted that like top 8 direct qualify thingy. I didn't want that like extra knockout or whatever it's called.
So
Yeah,
what do you think? What do you think was the main problems today?
Playing Archie Gray as a centre back
Okay.
and Foster.
Left back.
Oh shit! I hear myself.
Yeah, turn your YouTube off. I can hear myself and yourself saying that. That's exactly how I started the watch along. So pot calling the kettle black. So okay, seeing Archie Gray. Now, obviously, with Archie Gray starting as centre back, would you have? We were all having a discussion. Would you have rather seen an Alfie Dorrington? Would you have rather have seen who were the other defenders we had available?
That was it. Casanova.
Yeah, well, so would you? I think Alfie Dorrington would have been the main one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Would you have rather seen an Alfie Dorrington start? His first ever senior appearance in Galatasaray, who is a centre back, or Archie Gray, who we've been playing as a makeshift wherever we can find you in defence.
He was playing left back. Wasn't
I actually had this chat with Eugene before, and I said like good managers adapt to whatever players they have in system and etc. I wouldn't mind if we played a 3 at the back with like Gray and Dragushin and let's say Ben Davies, and then have Udogi and Horo as wingbacks or something.
Yeah, it was never
It's not
going
a
to
bad
happen.
idea, though.
It was never going to happen.
No. Angie's not for changing.
No. That's who we are,
that's
mate.
the thing.
Okay, so what else would you like to talk about, Rinketic?
No. So like the features coming, they are like Roma, Rangers, and Hoffenheim, and they ain't that easy. So,
No, it isn't.
No.
It isn't, and obviously we'll
so-
find out the other results that come in. How are you feeling?
Effensberg.
Was coming. How are you feeling about the Europa League at the moment? Obviously, I still think we're going to qualify easily, and we'll go into the knockout stages. I think this is a blip in the road. It's not the result we wanted, but where are you feeling about it?
It depends. I'm a bit worried about top 8 right now. I know like we will qualify, but it's about the top 8.
The other thing is people seem to forget that if you finish, say, first and second, you are guaranteed not to meet first and second, are not guaranteed to meet till the final. So there is definitely something positive and advantageous to finishing in the top 2, 3, or 4. Brian.
Yeah, sorry. I was just we're big. Go on, Rinketic.
So thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that, so thank you.
Like I said, I think the qualification is going to be fine. Like I said, I think the most important thing to me, Rinketic, it'll get you speaking on this, was our away form is a big issue. Domestically, in the Premier League, away in cups, right? We've got past Coventry, and obviously now Europa League. Going to Galatasaray away and getting a result, maybe with a stronger squad or getting it right, or the players stepping up, could have had a major psychological impact to say, do you know what, we've gone here, we've won away, or got the point, a very hostile place. I just think this is an opportunity. I'm more worried, or not more worried, I was more wanting to get the right result for the psychological thing than the 3 points, because I still think we go through easy. I mean, do you think this might have an impact on going away? It hasn't helped, has it, really, is what I'm trying to say. It hasn't really given us anything to get excited about or think, right, the away form is going to improve.
I feel like every game is like on their own. Like, we lost this, like, well, we can't change that. It's about how we like attack the other games, and if Ange is willing to change like his system and stuff.
Yeah, I think we all know, don't we? Ange he's not changing. Listen,
It's not for changing.
He's not for changing though. He's changed inverted wingers or inverted fullbacks to being wide. He's made changes. He's put, but.
Well, I will tell you one thing he's changed this season. Our quick attack breakaway goals this season, we've scored 7. Last season we managed to score only 3, and our best ever season was 9 in 2019 under Pochettino. So, he has made changes. Yep. There has been tweaks. I think Brennan Johnson's got 3, Son's got 3. I can't remember who got the other one. But so there has been subtle changes, but fundamentally his ethos has not changed. I think there's a lot more teams now playing high line.
Yeah,
this season,
which helps us out a lot, because we're good against other high lines, but the moment you sit deep, it's a trouble for us.
It's not as well. Like Rinketic said when he come on as well. Everyone, and believe me, I would love to see a back 3. You would love to see a back 3. He would love to see a back 3. You would like to see a back. I feel like Oprah. You want to see a back 3. Everybody gets a back 3. He's not doing it. He simply isn't doing it. So as much as we keep saying, "Oh, why doesn't he do it?" What? He's not doing it.
Just feel there's more balance with the back 3.
Yeah, but he's not going to do it.
Porro and Doji tucked in gives us more flexibility, because we would have 3 centre backs who all like to bring the ball forward. Romero likes to bring the ball forward. He can play beautiful diagonal pass, great pass through the ball. Mickey, we know, likes to bring the ball forward, and Dragusin as well. So. I think there's a much more option, but we aren't the manager, unfortunately.
No.
Love to have a go.
Well, very fortunately, no one wants me as the manager.
Ryan Mason's got more chance than
listen, we play back. If he goes to back 3 and then one of them get injured, we have to go back to a back 4 anyway. It's screwed. But Rinketic, it's getting on. We're going to let you go, because I think we've got 1 or 2 left to go through. Ben's got to get his train home. Yeah. I've got to get home. But Rinketic, always a pleasure, buddy.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
See you later on, buddy. Right, so, okay, I think he's normally on last, but he's not coming on last because he's been waiting for so long.
He came in from the dark.
He's sitting in the pitch black dark, but I can see his cheeky smile already. It's me, it's KPV. How are we doing, buddy?
Okay. Still not great performance, I say. Another way defeat. Lose to Palace, go and beat City and Villa, now lose this. Away, I know we were lucky to scrape away win at my local team, Coventry. Lucky, who I thought deserved to go through the last bit. But tonight, not great performance. Not great. And I don't want to see former Celtic and Southampton rejecting goal again. What's going on? You're not putting Venom in, who is better than him. What's going on? You're just putting as I said, Celtic and Southampton rejecting goals. Vicario played in our last Europa League game, and now they put in this guy in. Come on, he's not good enough. Get rid of him or want him out. We should have brought a goalkeeper in the summer, and he's not good enough. Yeah, as you heard Eugene said, he was good last season, but not in a League Cup. Just maybe, I don't know, whatever. But this time, he's been shit, as always. I don't know. He was in probably another last Europa League game, but this one, I don't know why he's in the squad. Like, he was injured at the start of the season, and Richie's just come back from an injury. Now he gets injured. Like, come on. Like, you can't keep playing an injured player. Bentancur came back in October last year, or September, whatever, and he get injured again. Like, what's going on? You can't play injured players, fam. I don't know what is going on with Big Ange, but I'm going to say he has to be held accountable for this, I'm afraid. No offense. Like, you can't keep changing managers. If something does happen, like, we've got Man United coming up next month. It's on Thursday, of all days.
Correct.
Spurs Day.
Spurs Day, yeah.
Correct. KPV, what? KPV, talk to me about James Maddison.
I suppose it was okay, but not great. But like a great free kick against Villa on Sunday, and join the 50 club. So welcome to the 50 club, Madders. Welcome to the 50 club, my friend. But tonight, I don't think he played great. He played okay. You know, you're going to be there with the player ratings tomorrow with Benji and Simeone.
No, I won't. No. I won't be with Ben. Is in Galatasaray. Ben is in Turkey. Simeon should have been in Turkey.
Had a lucky break.
Yeah.
Simeon, well, he's getting. You'll see because he's here tomorrow. Couldn't find his passport. So Simeon is here. So Simeon is probably happy that he couldn't find his passport right now. He got to spend it tucked up or watching it at home or wherever he was. I think he's watching it with Grandpa.
Yes.
So it'll be me and Simeon tomorrow whilst Ben is on the flight home. But yeah, so where we were. So obviously Maddison. What else is there you'd like to bring up, KPV? Because this is your time to talk, buddy.
I think I'm going to say a player that stood out for me. It's got to be, I'll probably say Bergvall for me. I know he didn't. I thought he did play well. Like, I think he may have assisted the first goal. I don't know if he didn't. Like,
no, he didn't.
Archie Gray to Johnson to Will to put the ball in it. Bergvall, okay, carry on, KPV. What made you want to talk Bergvall?
Him and Kulu, I think, can perform a great partnership. And Swedish, they're both Swedish, and like I think they're going to be one for the future. Kulu's been in 3 years now, coming up to 4 years now, coming up to 4.
Yep. But what do you think? What do you think about Bergvall's first half performance? You're watching Chelsea, who've just scored a 7th goal. When we're talking about Lucas Bergvall's performance.
KPV.
Can I just ask you? Can I just ask you? Would you say Noah's goalkeeper is worse than the tree, Fraser Forster?
Yeah.
Whose goalkeeper?
Yes.
Noah's goalkeeper. Noah.
Listen,
Noah, idea who this team is.
It's apples and oranges.
Bergvall first half performance, like I know you were just asking that. Still didn't play good. Second half, I thought he did play well, but I think he has to start on Sunday because Big Ange hasn't started him in a Premier League game. I don't know when he last started him, but you got to start him. I think like Madders came off the bench against Villa at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and scores a free kick in deep into stoppage time and. Like, I think you have to start Bergvall and Kulu. Kulu, I don't know if he was seen maybe having a bad shoulder or something. I don't know. I saw. But, yeah, start Bergvall and Kulu, man. Like, just start the 2 Swedish internationals is what I would do if I was the boss. I'd start both of them because then, yeah.
Wait, KPV, are you talking about in the Premier League or are you talking about in cup competitions?
Like, I'm talking about both, mate. Like, both competitions.
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, because I prefer them over, like, Bissouma. No offense, I like Bissouma. I know he scored at the weekend, but I'm just saying, like, I'd start maybe Kulu and Bergvall on, like, Sunday, then after international break in a Europa League, because they could form a great partnership. And, yeah, what more can you say about them? Like, better Swedish than Freddie Lundberg anyway. So I don't care what anyone says. Better than Freddie Lundberg, man. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, listen, I don't know how you can actually say that. Listen, and I hate the filth more than life itself. But Freddie Lemberg has won doubles, Invincibles,
On that
Premier
note,
Leagues,
yeah.
everything.
On that note, Brian.
Yeah, I don't. Go on.
He hasn't. I know he won 2 doubles, but yeah, that was cheating. That was by cheating, mate.
God,
Like,
mate,
KPV, you've had him there. You've had him there.
mate. KPV. On that note, I'm going to let you go.
Get the hook
But
out.
I'm sure we'll be speaking.
Exit stage right.
I'll be speaking to you soon, KPV. All right, brother.
yeet.
Thank you
And
for
as
coming.
always,
Thank you
yeah,
for coming,
yeah.
guys.
Mate,
See it. Okay, right. Have we got 1 or 2 left, Sammy?
If we have time.
Yeah. What
I
time?
don't
We got?
have much time.
Okay, right. Let's go through. The people have been waiting. So, there's some real bad interference
Not me.
with that. Who's next? I can't even read that.
I think he's got the mic on his heart.
It sounds like it.
Who's the guy coming on? I can't read what that says. What's the name?
Gibbs.
Gibbs. Let's bring Gibbs on. Sorry. Hey Gibbs, how you doing?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a real. What is that? Can you hear that interference, Sammy?
You got the mic on your heart.
What? Do you know what the interference is, Sammy?
No, I don't get nothing.
It sounds like you've got a subwoofer blaring every time you speak.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's that.
No, it's his phone.
Let's just try and get through it. Gibbs, you've been waiting. What would you like to say, buddy?
Nah, I don't know. I just would like to speak. I don't know what game.
Wait, Gibbs, we have to listen. We can't. The interference in your phone or your.
You got reverb.
Yeah, there's really bad reverb in the background.
Okay, cool.
Try calling in. Try again after the Ipswich game, because at the moment the reverb from your phone is unfortunately really bad. We can't hear you.
Okay, cool.
Sorry
about that, Gibbs. But I really apologise. Okay, 1 second. It's still going. Is it? You sure it's? Who's the last one we've got? Oh, a man I've always wanted to speak to, actually. If this is the guy that I think so, if this is who I think it is coming in when he's ready.
Is it Phil? No.
No, if it's the person I think it is, and I'm going to say something, he's nodding his head because he knows what I'm going to say. Let's bring on Philly Ali, because if I know that name, and if I remember that name very well, I need to thank this man. Because Philly Ali, if I'm right, you supplied me with some food on January evenings, didn't you, a couple of years ago?
Brian, you know what's funny? I had a burger for lunch, and I took one bite of it, and I thought of the Purple and Gold Brigade. And it just what a pleasure it is to be able to talk to you, Brian. You've thanked me for that about 100 times. I only sent you one burger, so don't worry about it.
I know. I'm going to tell you. Whoa. No. Before, listen. I'm going to tell you now. This is before when. Me, Ryan and Graham, and this is before Purple and Gold, this is way before Purple and Gold, when me, Ryan and Graham started the January protests, and we were outside from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. to start these protests against the board. Phil reached out to WeAreTottenhamTV, who then said to me, he's over there in America, and said, whilst you're standing out there, I am going to buy and order you food. So there's nowhere to eat, sir. I always wanted to say thank you, but now we've got that out the way, Philly Ali, because I've always seen you. I'm like, that's him. I've got to do a chat with him. What would you like to talk about, sir?
I was calling in mostly to talk about burgers, but I think the game was pretty good too.
Burgers, I mean, Philly, where do you want to go with that performance?
Burger Val.
I'm happy.
Chelsea have just scored 8th.
Go on, Philly.
Well, who cares, man? They're playing farmers.
Exactly, Philly. So sorry, let's get
Score
through this.
all you want in the Conference League, and then keep
warming
coming up with goose eggs in the Premier League.
They're warming up for the filth on Sunday, Philly. But yeah, let's get back to the Spurs game and that defeat today at Galatasaray. What's your thoughts?
It's just a pleasure to be able to tune into a game with so much excitement. Being able to go at teams. I mean, considering like a world-class volley that's once in a million to start their scoring off. Lancashire losing his head as a kid and getting sent off. I think we had a great showing. I think the fact that we're fighting until the end with 10 men down. I think this is a game that we could drop, and I think considering the squad management that the manager has to handle, I think he has to manage these games like this and throw the kids in. Lancashire would not have been playing if we had Richarlison.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I can't believe I'm going to mention this name as well. Let's look at it. I hadn't even thought about this. If Timo Werner had been fit, would he have started? Would he have had an impact? Would he have made a difference?
Well, Timo, Mikey Moore. We had so many players missing. We can't forget the Galatasaray are unbeaten this season in the league, unbeaten in the Europa League. They're playing their full-strength team, and we are playing a B- team. We're missing so many players: midfield, defence, attack, width. So you got to.
And who scored against us? I mean, Osimhen is one of the best players in Europe. Their team was stacked. They kept bringing on players that I did not know they had. Hakim Ziyech on the team. I mean, bringing off Martens just to put him on. Like, they were stacked. They had a really good squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you argue, Philly, that they took this game a lot more seriously than we did, and that has cost us today? Because when the chips were down, we were taking off our firepower, and they were putting, even when they were 3-1 up, they were putting more firepower. They wanted to win this, whereas we were thinking more about the Premier League and trying to get top 4 than trying to win a trophy. And that, for me as a Spurs fan that has only seen us win 2 trophies in my entire life, 99 and 2008, we should be winning in these games. We should be taking it to them. We shouldn't be taking our big guns off. We should be putting them on. We should be trying to win games of football.
Yeah, Ange has to balance it. I mean, that's the thing. Our starters, they each get one half. You know what I mean? I don't think he would have wanted to play Porro the whole game. We're getting to the point in the season where he's got to manage the wear and tear on these high-performing athletes, man. I agree. I think we should definitely prioritize this competition. Having a Europa League trophy would be a dream come true. But Galatasaray, they come into this game from a very different perspective. They don't have to play in the Premier League. Of course they can prioritize this game, especially considering their depth puts our depth to shame. It's really crazy. And I think you guys made the joke, Ainge is just trying to get this squad to January, and finally we'll get the cavalry will come in and we'll get some recruits.
It did make me laugh, but listen, you've got to look at it. Like you said, you even mentioned at the beginning, Dragushin has played against Osimhen in Italy.
Yeah.
You already knew going into this game that their front two are prolific goal scorers. They will cause mayhem and bedlam to the biggest defenders 100%. And the best first team set of defenders. And they were toying with it. There was like cat and mouse, really, wasn't it, Philly?
Yeah, I mean, going into the second half, I was like, man, could we have swung and got Osimhen in this past summer? It just crossed my mind because I know he was kind of forced out of Napoli from Conte.
Yep.
And he would be great in the Premier League. He's got the build. He's got the touch. He's a pure finisher. Man, thank goodness for Dom coming back for that little Cruyff flick finish. Just take all of those evil thoughts out of my head. And I said, no, I'm happy. What a beautiful finish. That's what I mean, though. What a pleasure. We were fighting until the end. Bringing on Dom. He is such a refreshing man to have up top. I'm glad he got his goal today. I think there's a lot of positives we can pull out. Him staying in goal scoring form is huge for us. I think, like it or not, scoring a goal and then getting a red card is going to be a learning experience for Lancashire that you cannot buy. Again, he wouldn't have been playing if Richarlison wasn't out. So I see that that is going to be up to Lancashire if he wants to learn from this and use it to make him an elite player. Like, this is what you need in your player development. This type of learning experience.
Philly, he'll be on the bench again for Ipswich on the weekend. I
hope he plays because he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it, that boy.
I think he'll be there.
I think possibly could have taken him off earlier and put in Solanke on earlier. Maybe I think it was a harsh red card, but you see them given. But again, I think you're right. I think he'll learn from this. He's
there for Ipswich. He's
a good lad. Yeah. I think he'll learn from this.
Well, there you go, Philly. Listen, we are going to let you go. So go
on, one last thing I wanted to say. One last thing regarding Lancashire. I will say, someone who did look good and manhandling Lancashire all game was Davison Sanchez. And I feel like Davison did some voodoo on us. All of a sudden, he turned Radu Dragusin into Davison Sanchez, making a mistake at the back. And he was like pinging balls around and stuff. I was like, Sanchez, where is this coming from? But anyway, live to fight another day. I'm looking forward to Ipswich. Brian, it's great to talk to you finally. And then let me know when you're out in the cold again, because maybe I got some pizza or maybe some spaghetti, or I'll mix it up, man.
You never know. You never know when I might be about and outside a training ground, but not right now.
Right.
That's for damn sure. Philly, always a pleasure,
Philly.
bro.
Cheers, Philly.
Speak to you soon, mate. See you later.
Come on.
Come on, you Spurs. Right. That is the fan show completed. That is the watch along completed. That is the instant match reaction done. I want to say thank you to everyone that has watched all of it. Thank you for keeping us company. Thank you for listening to us. Johnny, it's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure, as always.
Ben Kaufman, pleasure.
As always.
And
we do catchphrases?
No, I will be back with Simeon tomorrow to unravel what has just happened and build up for Ipswich. I will say have a good evening, everyone. Like, comment, share and subscribe. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
What the cough is brewing.
There we go.
Come on, you Spurs.
And we out.